I'm Chris Rubiel Cormier, and I answer the question: can Rubiel Mosquera win the Olympia next year, 2024? Check us out.
What's up, desktoppers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back for a one-on-one with the real deal, Chris Cormier, all the way from Dubai, out there for the Dubai Muscle Show. And obviously, the main thing you've been doing lately is working with pretty much bodybuilding's new biggest phenomenon in Rubiel Masquera, aka Neckzilla. Man, how's
Yeah,
that experience been? And how have you been?
it's been really cool because we kind of established a friendship before we did anything. We kind of was on the road last year, going throughout Europe, Spain, and also going through where did we go? Spain. We was in Dubai here, and going out to dinners and Greece, different part of Greece and everything. And then we started to train at the FIBO, and we started touching on different parts of his body, and he was liking it, and I think I just helped him connect with his body more than he has before. Then we went out to Marbella shortly after that, and we did some more training. Me, him, and Brian. So with with that being said, we uh, over the years he was getting ready. The year he was with in the other league, we wanted to come to the IFBB and to the MPC, and that sent over like a shoulder workout, different stuff he wanted to concentrate on. He was preparing to get his pro card again, so he had to do the amateur NPC show, and we wanted to do a different show, but then they didn't have a, a category where he can get his pro card, so we went for the Prague show where he can actually get a pro card and actually get on stage the next day with the pros. And that's where
Yeah,
we
and
uh,
that's the
went.
cool thing, man. The cool thing is we got to see him not only turn pro, but the question then would have been, oh, well, how does he look next to these guys really? And there still would have been doubts. But we got to see him against Crizzo. We got to see him against Samson, who was third in the world. So we had third and seventh. And then we had Nathan Diasha, who's finished seventh in the Olympia before. And we had a bunch of other actually really good competitors after that too. Liang Yan, a whole bunch of guys. So it's like we got to see him beating good guys. And like for me, because I didn't watch the live stream of this one, I actually had something on for once on a weekend, but I don't know how he looked standing next to these guys on the live stream, but I'm looking at these photos and I'm like, he is far from out of place. And you could even make arguments that, had he been a touch crisper or had a little bit here and there, he's beating these guys. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I know you've mentioned, like, look at that. Like, that side tricep is
that side tricep.
completely
Now,
insane.
I like that side tricep. I like the taper on his waist, and I think that some of these guys don't have that type of thing going on. He's got in some of these side shots, which is it's going to be great for him moving forward to start out at this point right here, and is always going to have that crazy leg sweep that no one is is not wanted to have in their arsenal.
Mm. You look at that side leg as well. There's like some nice cuts in there
And it's not
already. The
even
chest is
lighted.
striated.
It's not even lighted on that bottom part of that leg. Great at that shot, but I guarantee
Yeah.
you, when you see him in person, it's a whole other story. From then, look at this shot. This is the next day.
Yeah.
So this was when we arrived here uh, in Dubai. So this was not even. This is cruising right here, but he's
It's not
still,
even comp stuff.
yeah. And those abs,
Wow.
that ab and thigh, I love it. Because it's only a little bit of tinkering with that to make that even a better shot. And look at the
Yeah.
mask. And like you said, you can point out anyone's flaws, and everyone has flaws. Even right here, he's so sideways, he's not even utilizing that back shoulder in this shot, and it's still looking amazing. But just think, there's a lot of things you just don't know at this point, and that we're still working on. And um, I hear a lot of podcasts talk about him. His posing improved so much. That was like a week and a half of really intense posing practice we did.
Yeah, and with guys with that, most guys, as you know, like don't have that natural flow with posing. I think, like my dad actually competed back in the day, and he sort of taught me a few things early. So I feel like I learned the basics early, and then got that natural flow, and it was sort of came smooth. But he's so fresh, and we've seen his posing from the last comp too, and you see how it is now. It is like night and day difference, and I'm like, wow. With like you mentioned about him potentially coming out to Camp Cormier in the US
Yeah,
and like that, it's
yeah.
like if he gets a whole prep out here or a half a prep even, it's like it is
Oh
going to
yeah.
be dangerous for everyone in 2024
Anybody,
because
anybody,
yeah,
anybody. And
yeah.
he's such a
Kick,
nice kid too, man. I really like his energy, and he just want to work. He wants to do well for his family, and it's a great story. Coming over to the best league in the world, the IFBB Pro League, and to test your skills against the best of the best, and that's what he wanted to
yeah, and he obviously did that and did it in style as well.
do.
I mean, does he have the biggest legs on the planet today in the IFBB Pro League? Because you got Hassan
For
Mustafa.
sure. For
I'm
sure.
starting to think that this dude has bigger legs. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It,
he does have the biggest legs. And as you could see when he was competing, he was just looking at me the whole time, looking for little gestures or little movements that I wanted him to do, a little turning more, or bringing his chest up, or whatever adjustments he was needing in that shot. Um, and of course, I have a little bit of Spanish and a little bit of Spanish and Spanglish. I could talk to him uh,
Spinglish.
to, to help in the situation, and then the English that he understands, it just works that way. So yeah, but I'm just really happy that he did so well, and he actually looked like he actually graduated from the amateur to a pro ranking in that 24-hour window, which I thought
That's what I've heard
was
some people say that they thought is better the next day than the actual pro card winning day. And it was actually funny. I did see one guy in the amateurs as well, but actually looked insanely impressive. But he didn't get his pro card, and he's like a guy that could have definitely competed with the pros that day as well. So he didn't
yeah.
have the he had tough competition in the amateur as well. So tell me a little bit about how the amateur comp went because I didn't get to watch it live.
Okay, well, they had the lightweight who didn't stand a chance to do anything, and
Dude, I saw that photo. I saw
yeah,
that.
he was like, "Why am I up here with this guy?"
I'm gonna try to
But
find that because that photo was good.
yeah, but I was like, it does tell you. I think even in one of his shots, when he was doing his pose routine, one of the other competitors he was going up against was standing in the background. Uh, they were coming out from the back, and he
Yep.
wanted to watch the show also, but he's like poking his head out the back door, watching him do his routine and shit. I don't know if you can see it here, but this guy, I was laughing at that. I say, so he was. It was just an aura about him, and it was like people standing around him, just looking at him, even backstage. And I didn't see that type of energy towards any other person in the show, which was crazy. Because these guys are like
Yeah.
seasoned professionals that's won competitions. Like, I mean, Nathan Diaz has won like 11 shows.
Yeah.
And then you got someone that took third in Olympia. You got Fritz from Germany. You got some seasoned guys that's been whipping ass for a long time, but yet this guy was like still in the show and shine from a lot of people. It was crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's the photo. He's the photo.
He was like, "What? What are we doing?"
Man, that is brutal. it's like I, it's like I remember seeing a photo of Kai Green. He was posing down with an amateur, and he looked like a monster next to
Oh
him.
yeah,
But
that
he
was
this other guy was
at the Pittsburgh show.
eh,
That's right. But
yeah,
this
but
guy
he was
he's here to
still
compete. He's here to compete. He's like he put all he's got into this.
yeah, man. And it's like that is genetics personified there, and obviously hard work, but the difference is absolutely wild. And there's this photo as well of him. I believe this is it 2017 or was it 2018? I can't
17.
remember
Yeah,
which one it was.
17.
17.
But also
It's like that's
another fun fact is he's done like eight. I think that was his ninth show, but it was like eight. He done 8 shows before going up against these guys. So at that point in time, you really don't know exactly what you're doing on stage. You know exactly what to do in certain situations that happen on stage. And it's it's a testament to his natural ability to adapt and to. I mean, I think he's just basically just having fun up there and enjoying the fact that he could uh, go up against the best, and he wanted to be tested. And I mean, he was just super happy up there.
Yeah, and I look at this photo, and you look at this guy's legs here, who probably has a bit of muscle on his legs and stuff, and I'm like, one of Rubiel's legs would eat two of his legs. You know what I mean? Like easily, and it's just it gives you a like, and the calves as well. Like us, the on the other video, I'll find it in this video. His calves, you compare it to the other guys in the pro lineup, they're huge. Like
Smoke,
they're actually
smoking.
there we go.
I
Like you
don't.
can
I
see the
don't think.
calves there.
I don't think anyone has calves like that in the pro league.
No,
Not big
not that
around.
size probably anymore.
No, and even in the off season months ago, back in we were at the FIBO, he was walking, and I'm like, this guy has striations in the off season in his calves when he's walking, and I thought like, what the fuck, dude? And, but he didn't. But he still was lacking in some body parts. But these body parts have improved. They're not all the way there yet. But his back improved. Actually, from the first workout, I saw a different size pump, like a pump that I haven't seen on his back, and a pump that I've seen on his chest, and even delts and stuff like that. As we went through the different body parts along with Breon, uh, it was just pumping to a totally different looking body. And that's when I knew he had the potential to do so much more. And, people can point out different weaknesses, but when you see this most muscular and stuff like that, it takes away from it. It blows up and increases size to where it's not a weakness. If he's relaxed, yeah, you could point out some weakness, but when he goes to posing, those weaknesses are fading away. I'm telling you. You
Yeah,
mean to tell me
and
I
and
win? He's not. I'd rather be him and out of all of these guys right here. No
he's
respect to
yeah.
anybody. I'm just saying. I'd rather take
It,
that
it,
body and take that ab shot over the field.
yeah, it's
No,
it's wild, and this then you go to the side shots as well, and like
side
you can make
shots,
an
yeah,
argument for him winning both side shots easy.
exactly. And look at that shape of that body. These guys are breathing out or whatever they're doing, but uh, like that.
Mm.
And he's not a big eater, so I don't think that's going to come in effect. He's not on any insulin. I know people probably think he's doing astronomical things, and he's not.
Wow, wow,
He's
that's
not.
crazy because
And he's
he I
28
think
years
next
old.
year.
He's 28 years old. All you do is be smart in your training and just chip away at that body and sculpture it into something magnificent. That's all you got to do.
Well, we spoke about it before, like we were talking on the phone for I don't know how long, half an hour before we actually started this. And, I made the point, I said he's probably going to be the youngest guy on the Olympia stage next year. Now, that's granted, he qualifies, which I don't think he'll probably have a problem with doing that.
I
So
think
it's
you have
like
a problem.
he could be the biggest and the youngest on the Olympia stage next year. And it's like, it leads me to say, you know, why can't this guy become, could he be like the next Ronnie? Because we've seen the incredible progress in 1 year and probably the incredible progress in 2 weeks with you out there with him as well with the posing and everything. So it's like, what can this guy be? Can he be, like the next Ronnie? And it's like, it's such a hard thing to say because people have said it before. People said that Phil will win 10 Olympias and things like that. But I mean, if he wins it, I mean, first question, can he win it in 2024?
I wouldn't put it that much pressure as 2024. In the future,
Mm,
yes. Can he cancel out a lot of people's strengths, and can he be the phenom that people think he can be? I mean, like I said, the aura and the energy that he has around him when he's walking around, it don't look normal at all,
yeah,
at
yeah,
all. And
of course.
he's gonna be the X factor every time he's on stage from now on for sure.
Mm. Well, I
And
guarantee you, if
this is
if
gonna
he
be the
wins
worst.
his next show,
This is gonna be the
sorry,
worst he's gonna be right here for sure.
wow,
This is gonna be the worst.
that's scary for everyone because I guarantee, like, if he goes and wins the New York Pro, like even in like the sort of fashion that Nick Walker sort of wanted in, you know, where it's like, wow, could this guy actually continue to deliver on what he's sort of saying out loud? I guarantee there's going to be hype around him in terms of winning the Olympia in 2024 if he's that impressive at his next show and wins it sort of hands down.
I know he can get those legs cut up. I know they can get cut up all the way to his hip. I know he can understand how to utilize those legs to his advantage. I know he can utilize, because right here he was even a hard time utilizing the oblique and serratus area. That's going to be a thing of the past next time, I guarantee you. Uh, the chest is going to be fuller. The back is going to be bigger. Shoulders going to be bigger for sure. And the arms, they're just naturally big, but yeah, they can improve too. And all you got to do is work that upper body and a little bit more hamstring development. And the glutes are huge, so don't worry about that. Just from
Yeah.
the back of the knee to the hamstrings, because the last time I saw him in person, he was just really dominant with the legs, traps, and quads. It was not much else there. Wasn't super impressed, but now he's a very impressive physique and competitor.
Mm, yeah, I honestly like I'm before the contest. I mentioned this to you before. I saw that the pre-contest video of him posing, and I'm like, well, he looks like he's in better condition than I thought. But I'm like, there's no way 286 pounds at 27 or 28 years old or whatever age I thought he was. There's no way that that's going to be conditioned like the pro guys, you know. And really, in some body parts and in a decent amount of body parts, he was like that outer quad, like that was
Oh, yeah.
conditioned. The pecs were conditioned. When he actually did his twisting back shots, that's when it really showed up the sort of lines he's got in his back, and it's just it's all there. And it's the fact is it's new muscle as well. So new muscle is harder to condition. So now that he's got this level of mass, he just needs to add a little bit more in a few areas, but nothing's really glaringly weak. It's like that's why I'm so big on this guy to do huge things in the future, not just because I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it really is. We could be seeing, you know, the start of something that's incredible, and we saw it obviously with Big Ramy back in 2000 and whatever it was at the New York Pro. But I
Yeah.
think we're seeing, you know, the next, like, this is the most excitement I've heard from any pro bodybuilder since Ramy back then. And that's been, I don't know how long it's been now since Ramy did that, if it was
At least 10
early
years ago.
to, yeah,
10 years
at
ago.
least, because since then he's done a lot of Olympias and he's got two Olympias himself. So I
Yeah.
think the potential is higher than that for Rubiel, based on what we're seeing and the progress as well. It's just when does the progress slow down, you know? And it doesn't seem like it's going to slow down anytime
Oh,
soon. And
he's got at least he's probably got at least 7 more strong good years to change. You know, just keeping
oh
everything
yeah,
nice and neat. I don't see any damage. There's a lot of body. There's a lot of damage on their physique
mm,
going to these shows, and that don't seem to be a situation with him as of yet. And he wants to get better. He wants to improve. I think we're going to the gym today. I think we even let's just continue with the posing and learning right now. Why not? Why we every time we're around
yeah.
each other, there's something. And I know he's going to be going back to Colombia after this show here. So he'll be at the booth, um, at the Yaba Labs booth this weekend here at the show here in Dubai. But I'm not above going out there to Colombia and helping him a couple weeks each month or whatever. Depending on what happens, if he can come to America, that's even better. But
Yeah.
that's not. It's not going to stop the situation. It's not going to stop him improving. It's not going to stop the goal set, and that's to be one of the best in the world.
Well, dude, you
Yeah,
could do,
like a young Mike Tyson, bro. I'm telling you, bro.
man.
He's gonna be.
You could do two birds, one stone going out there to Colombia, man. You get the stem cells plus train Rubiel, like,
There you go. I already thought about
wow.
that. I already
Yeah,
thought about that.
that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure,
But
man.
I mean, and the other positive for him is as well. He's got the cells on his doorstep. You know, I'm sure that would
Right,
be, you know, they'd be wanting to get him in. Surely, like he's the biggest name in, well, one of the biggest names in bodybuilding right now, with like Derek Lunsford and Sebum.
right. Yeah, so I mean, he's skyrocketing right now. Right now, he's got to be trending more than anybody in the sport. and that's not even uh, that's a clear understanding that that's happening right now.
Yeah.
So to make that big splash in the amateurs and to come out and do his thing with the pros, and like I say, these guys, I really respect these guys, and I hated to see Nathan fall to fourth, but I mean, at the same time, I was just like, this guy got a whole career ahead of him, and like I say, to go up against these seasoned vets, man, like, these guys were tough. Horse and
Mm.
D didn't make it to the show. That would have been, maybe he would have beat him, maybe he would not would have beat him, but you know, still he has a lot of good, really good guys up there. He had a really good production and great show out there in Prague. I'm just really excited to see what's going to happen in the next show he does.
Yeah, and one other thing we spoke about before we started as well is we talked about like the refinement as well. Like you worked with Breon Ansley, like he won 2 Classic Olympias, I believe it was, and
Arnold
he's
Classic,
continued. Yeah, and he's surprised me through the years because he's not as young as a lot of these other guys, and he has still grown and improved with the division, and he has maintained his spot in the top 5, for years now, which is pretty incredible. And
yeah,
I think when like I've heard, I think maybe Sean Ray or Bob Chick was saying like he should be in the 212, and I'm like, nah, like I agree with you. I think classic is the spot for him, especially now that weight's gone up a bit, because I just don't think that he maybe would have had the necessary like crazy leg mass and stuff to compete with the top guys in the 212. So I'm like, I don't think he's going to win a 212 title, but he's got a better chance in the classic. But my point is, you've been the king of refinement with him because his physique when he tried to do 212 back in the day, it's like you see it, it's not refined or anything like that. And now it's like razor sharp, refined. The muscles are hard, and it's a different look to the muscle. It's detailed. It's more like the old school look we used to see, like when we talk about 90s versus today. It's more of that sort of look, but even maybe more cut up than some of the guys back then. So talk about that in terms of like applying that same thing to Rubiel. Now that Rubiel is
yeah,
literally probably going to be the biggest guy on stage anyway.
right. Well, that's the goal. That's always been the goal, was to improve Breon's physique uh, from what I saw. I just saw a body that can use some connecting, some cleaning out, deep tissue massage, everything uh, that I did coming up from a teenager on up into the pro ranks. I went to the national ranking and up into the pro ranks and to the top of the echelons of the sport. And, you know, just all the stuff I learned over the years, I applied that uh, to people that I put my heart and soul into. And Breon, we've been together for at least 8 years now. But if you see his earlier on shots and to see what it turned into, you can't tell me that someone like Rubiel cannot make that same type of transformation. And I would just love to see people's faces when that does happen, because it's going to be some
Mm.
shit. It's going to be some shit. And I know for a fact I could do a lot with those legs as far as shaping and carving and detailing. I know I could do a lot with his back. That's my specialty. I know I could do a lot with his chest. And putting together a classic looking physique, as far as what I mean by is like how it should look, not muscles that look like it's not on an anatomy chart. That's not my goal here. My goal is to keep it nice and clean looking, and nothing crazy. Just slowly build into the goal. I have a visual of what I think he can look like, and once that happens, and once he's posing exactly like I want him to pose, it's going to be something out of this world for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I think
No
next year we're going to have a lot of talk going to next year's Olympia. Granted, obviously Rubio qualifies, which I think everyone thinks he will, because you've got guys returning. You got Nick Walker coming back. You got Derek Lunsford and Hardy, who have been the top two the last 2 years. Sampson, who was in that top 3 call out. You've got the potential of improvements from Andrew Jacks. You've got Crizo, who looked I think better at this show just in the past weekend than he did at the Olympia. So many guys, man. It's crazy how many guys we go into the Olympia now, and we're like, these guys are contenders for top 3, and it's like there's like 8 of them.
And if you bring up Crizzo, that to me was the best Crizzo I ever seen. And
Mm.
he was still going toe to toe, even though he scored a perfect solid second and had a solid first, the eye test tells you that he was nipping at Crizzo's heels, and just a little bit. I mean, a little bit more stage savvy, a little bit more conditioning. He probably would have beat Crizzo. And people like Kevin Lebroni thought he did beat Crizzo, but is this not going to happen at this point? He got up as close as he was going to get. It was a big thing that he even edged out uh, Nathan, and I just I just see that that because Crizzo was better here than he was at Olympia, and I also thought the same from Sampson. And then, but he was in the mix with those guys, and he won a couple shots. He clearly won a couple shots in my book, and with that, coming from where he came from, and the little bit of experience he has up there, all these guys got multiple wins under their belt, uh, or mostly do, and has Olympia experience, and he's just talking about the amateurs and like, okay, let's just do this. It was just remarkable to see. And like I said, some of the stuff that they were saying, I can understand. He didn't really even understand what he was saying, but he's looking at me the whole time, looking for me to give him a nod or a twist more or some kind of hand gesture to get him through the pose. And these guys are not doing that. They know exactly what they're doing, but it's going to be a whole different ball game once he understands all this stuff. And we're going to do a lot of studying on videos and a lot of do's and don'ts and must sees. And I think he's going to be a must see bodybuilder. And who wouldn't want to get this guy, affiliated with their company in some kind of way, because it's going to be a draw everywhere he goes for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Now, with that contest as well, I know we're talking a lot about him, but what shots, you said he won some shots. What shots do you think he won? Because for me, the side shots, like for me, I'm like, I didn't see the show. I'm only going off those photos I saw. I'm like, but by those photos, I have him winning both the side shots. So which shots did you have him winning?
I had the same ones. He held his own in the front double. The last spread, he can improve more. That's going to improve more, but it wasn't like he got washed out by anybody up there. And then the ab and thigh here. I mean, like I say, I'd give him the ab and thigh shot. So if you come away with 2 shots, 3 shots, and those other guys, divvied up their other shots or whatever it took, shit, you got a lot of promise. And right here is not. I mean, I don't even teach 2 flat feet like that in the front in the ab and thigh, but that comes from lack of experience, and he's not even utilizing his legs properly. And once that does happen, I mean, if he was doing like Nathan, that'd be a whole nother shot. If he did his feet like Nathan and had Nathan's experience, that's a whole nother shot for him. And if you bring that right arm down and utilize that serratus and oblique in that shot with that heel lifted and turned in, that's a whole nother shot for him. That'd be deadly.
Yeah.
And you pressure 100%. All those muscles the right way. And he didn't spend a lot of time on the quads because he had a big issue in the hamstring, because the hamstring was surely lacking in the last few months. So, like I said, this is all the work in progress. It's all it's basically baby muscle up against these guys, right?
Well, look at it. He's not even like he's got his knees apart a bit, but look how far his legs join. Like it's almost down to his knees, man.
Yeah,
it's so filled out. It's just
and
it's
then
incredible.
I did start to see a little feathering coming on that right leg, but I for sure I think that's gonna be carved up. You see that carved up striations, the judge is gonna have no problem giving some of these shots to him.
Yeah. Do you think this is a question I was sort of wondering, because obviously it's a new guy in a lineup. It's hard. Like the judges probably are like, wait, is this guy beating these guys, or like what's happening here? Because it's at first, even as a judge, there's a human element to it. But if you'd never seen any of these physiques before on stage and they're being judged for the first time, if they put Rubiel Neckzilla in the middle, and if it was like that way through prejudging, would people be going, "Oh yeah, I can see him winning"? And do you think it's just maybe we're saying, "Oh, well, he can't beat Samson because he's third in the world, and Samson's probably better here than the Olympia"? So, what
I
do
think
you
it's
think on that?
look at everything. I mean, Samson had the prestige, had the cachet going into the show, so no one was actually thinking that he would be close. But I think it's going to need a little bit more time. Does he have a lot more upside? Can you say? Can you say? Oh, I see a lot of naysayers saying, "Oh, but his clavicle bones are not that wide." Oh yeah, but there's a guy named Phil Heath that didn't have the widest clavicle bones.
He only won
And then
7.
there's William Bonnick, wasn't the widest guy in the world, but yet you get that conditioning down with that amount of muscle. It's hard to deny what he can do in the world of bodybuilding. It's hard to deny. You can't
100%.
go off of what you could see with the body. It's like when he poses, you're going to see some dynamite happening.
And we talk about, getting the shoulders bigger as well. But look at that shoulder there compared to Chris and Samson. If it's smaller, it's not much smaller. It's just the fact that the rest of him is
Look
so
at the way he's
enormous.
built. You see how that shelf of his from the top of his pec down towards the lower part. It's just built right and ready, just ready to be sculpted into something great.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we don't even mention the calves because the calves are like forget about it.
Yeah. Now, we also said this before the interview. Does this dude have any myostatin? Like, is there? Because I actually spoke to Samson recently, and Samson was sort of gave me the idea that like he wasn't even trying to really grow in the past little off season that he had, but his body just wants to grow. I'm like, dude, you probably have no myostatin, but this guy, he just the amount of muscle at the age and the rate that it's come onto his physique. I mean, regardless of what he's doing, he could be doing the most PEDs in the world, and I don't think
Right.
anyone would have those same results.
Do
So,
that.
do you think that he has a?
Can you pull up
Sorry,
that shot I sent you with the we were at dinner? And it was like I think it was in your
which
DM.
shot was that?
That one we had the red shirt on, and we were all at dinner. Me, him, and Breon, and
Oh yeah, where's that on Instagram?
I think it was on your. It's on my Instagram, but it's down from April of last April, I think.
All right, I'll hunt it and find it. Um,
It's
I
not
think I
that
did
far.
see that recently.
I think I'll put in your DM.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll open that before before I go in it in case there's messages in there that shouldn't be seen.
Yeah.
uh, Let me have a look.
I think it's all right. I think it's just
Oh yeah, there it is. I found it. I found it. I found it.
yeah, so
Let me
you can
just
see
share
it's just
that.
like just a little bit ago he didn't even have that shape going. I
Yeah,
mean, no, you can't
exactly.
really see a lot, but you can see his chest. He just had the arms and the quads, and it was basically from there on. It was he went like just like a go.
Yeah, he's just a different beast now.
Yeah, you can see even as his neck and everything is just still a different size.
Yeah, it's when you look at him now, and it's just yeah, it's something else.
Right.
Something else. That's crazy, man. But anyway, what's happening with you? What have you got going on? Like what have you got coming up?
I'm out
Like
here getting my real deal nutrition going for. I got some pre workout. Um, Now I do have to go back out to the manufacturer out of Spain. Is where it's at. So it's probably going to take another trip out to Europe for that because I got it after this. I have a going to Sweden next week. Going home, filming a primetime muscle show. Getting on a plane to China, and I have a couple, maybe like 4 camps out there in China, Wuhan, China, and um,
Wuhan,
yeah,
Ground Zero.
yeah, yeah, ground zero. I'm going in, guys. Uh, Mask and
Just don't
gloves
go
and
to any
everything.
labs. No
No,
labs.
no. Yeah, I'll be eating a lot of sushi and training some guys. They got a great, great gyms out there, and um, yeah, we have real leader equipment out there. I don't know if I'll be a chance to see that manufacturer this time, but I think I'll link up with those guys. But Branch Chain is his gym, and I'm gonna go and train some people there.
Oh,
That's
Branch
where he's
Cheng, classic physique star.
yeah, that's where he's from.
Mm,
Is Wuhan. So
cool.
that's the first stop. Um, and maybe Shanghai might be one of them. I think it's a competition out there, and possibly put together some no holds barred uh, uh, camps and everything. So
Oh
that's what's
yeah.
gonna yeah. But yeah, man, it's gonna up the ante out there with the Chinese, and they make it back hopefully before Christmas. If not, then I'm gonna have to just short after Christmas, and then get back on it for the first of January.
Oh yeah. And you're getting back into training a bit too, aren't you?
Yes, started training, started eating better, get that cardio going. Yeah, Dorian looked at me and said, "Hey man, it's time to get it back on. Time to get it back on." I said, "All right, coach, got you. I'm on it."
That's cool, man. Because I remember, I remember when you, Dorian was always wanting you to come out there, and he's like wanted to train you, and you actually was training to go out there, and you like that's when you actually had your massive. For those who don't know, you had like a massive health issue, and you actually went into a coma. I remember that,
Yeah,
dude. I remember
yeah.
following bodybuilding at the time. That was early days for me, and like I was like. Everyone's like, "Is Chris going to come out of this?" Like, and no one knew. You know, it was crazy.
Like
How long were you in that for, man?
a month and a half, something like that. I woke up thinking,
That's crazy.
what happened in NPC? What happened in the UFC? What happened in the it was just like filling me in. I thought I was still actually doing Olympia. It was like I still had to get told I wasn't going to be able to make it. I didn't know.
Yeah, up to 6 weeks in a coma.
60 pounds
Shit.
difference. And I woke up, my legs were totally
Wow.
gone. They were at least 32 inches at the time. And then I woke up and
Wow.
they were like that. I was like, holy shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot more went into that, doing watching that drip of the IV of the antibiotics being dripped into my body for a full 6 months. That was, and every time I did that, you got to use the bathroom short, like within an hour after that. And it was just like constipation, and it was crazy
Mm.
every day that, day after day, and trying to just cope with it all. And, watching all these movies of all these fallen um, sports people who, out of the blue, it was not no longer with their life anymore. And so that was hard to watch all this every.
You started watching stuff like that?
Yeah, it was all that was on TV. I was like, why is this the only thing on TV?
Change the channel, change the channel.
Yeah, this all this competitor, or
That's funny, man.
this football player, or this. I was just, oh my god, this is crazy. Oh my,
And you notice it more too, obviously. Like when you're going through something like that, it's like
yeah,
you notice, like if you
yeah,
watch a movie and you're going through some tragedy in your life and something like pops up, you probably wouldn't think too much about it. And then like it relates to your life, you're like, oh, that hits, you know. So you
yeah,
notice that stuff a lot more.
for
But yeah,
sure.
that was I remember stuff like that. That was crazy at the time, and it was obviously the internet was so much smaller then. I think it was like on forums it was being posted, and I remember I think I saw a photo of you in the hospital or something like that, and I remember
Yeah,
seeing it, being like, "Holy shit!" And I
yeah,
remember hearing the news you came out of it, and I was like, That's cool." But I don't know what everyone was thinking back then. But when you hear of someone being in a coma for that long, you just literally think like, "Oh, they're not going to be the same." You know
yeah.
what I
They're not,
mean? And then
they're
you
not gonna
came out, and
I tried to compete after, but I just didn't want that to be my last time. I wanted to get up there a couple times, but I was a shell of myself at the time. So I was getting rushed back onto the stage because they were trying to save my ass, trying to save my living, and the way I was making a living. That's what. Shit, let me stop this one second.
you're good, man. You're good. But one of the things as well I'll mention about that is you made a comeback and you said you were a shell of yourself. I know you had like the torn tricep and stuff when you came back, but your physique though was still incredibly pleasing. It's not like you lost anything to your physique. I remember you still had the vacuum, like the way you did your front double. I literally remember it now. I can't remember. Was it like the San Francisco show or something like that you came back at? I'm trying to think.
No, it was a show in Canada, which is a huge mistake
That's right.
because it was a show in Atlanta City, Atlantic City, and
Yeah,
I just
that's
thought I
right.
had a bum rap because they was used to seeing. They were. I feel like I was getting. Uh, I feel like I was getting judged as if I was my best from the 99 Olympia, and then here it is, 2007 or so, or something like that, and I wasn't gonna look anywhere near that, but I think they was. I got judged a little harshly and had some people ahead of me that I feel like they probably shouldn't have beat me. Uh, but I needed that Olympia placing to keep my contract gone, to the
Oh
same
shit.
money. So I lost a lot of money behind that, and I just ended up forgetting about it. Just saying, okay. But it took a long time to come down from that high of being a competitive bodybuilder in order to get to my next living and what I'm going to do for a living. And that was a hard pill to swallow, that I'm not going to be able to do what I grew. And I thought I had so much time to start winning, and the show that Dexter won at Olympia, I thought that was going to be me. I thought it was my time. I paid my dues. I did all my seconds and all this stuff and all these major shows, and I thought that was going to be, I was going to have forever. And that's why I try to convey that message to a lot of people, is that you don't know when your last day is. You don't know when like your last time. You're going to make it through the day. Something catastrophic might happen right away, and just like with Nick Walker, you don't know how you're going to come out of this, dude. You don't know nothing. It's all
Yeah.
unsure. You don't know how you're going to be able to train with an injury like that. How your mindset going to be behind your repetitions. You could do whatever you can. In the meantime, I was doing curls and stuff in the bed, but just trying to save any type of muscle I could, and just to land her every day. Oh my goodness, man!
Yeah.
But yeah, it was tough. It was tough.
That's it's life, isn't it, man? It's just like life's just like this. You know what I mean? Like when things are going well, when you're up, it's like you've almost got to be prepared that at some point there's going to be some shit that happens, and when
Yeah,
that comes, and do I think you're better at doing that now, because I know that you've had a few tough things happen, or probably a few very tough things happen through your life, and even this year. Um,
yeah,
and you've still been able to succeed, and you're one of the best bodybuilders in the world, and now you're doing your thing, traveling around the world, living from obviously what you've achieved in the past, but also what you're doing now, man. So you're putting yourself out
yes,
there a ton, and it's noticed. So I've definitely seen it lately. I've seen you everywhere, obviously with Neckzilla, but even before that, I'm seeing you on Primetime Muscle. I'm seeing you doing some interviews. I see you on on Dennis's show and stuff as well, and I watch all your content, and it's always a welcome addition. It's been cool to see you on RX as well, because you and Dave and Chris as well, you all have like a really good like vibe. Like it was, man, I was laughing my ass off on that last episode, so it was good. It was good.
yeah, man.
So I
Thank you,
love it,
brother.
man.
Yeah, I want to do my own little YouTube channel, just kind of like almost like a coach's eye type of channel, and just like
Oh yeah.
uh, I do have my private life, but I want to be I want to start teaching more through the YouTube and all that stuff, and letting people into my world a little bit. You know, different food choices I have, and I'm a real foodie type of guy, so
Hmm.
that's kind of cool. I'll probably just start doing that type of stuff also. So that's
That'd be
coming in,
cool.
yeah, for sure, and some hardcore training, stuff like that, and hopefully have a couple of more things to focus on. The nutrition stuff, the training, the podcast, the uh, you know critiquing the physiques and teaching that way what I see out of physiques, all that type of stuff. And I got a shitload of footage from back in the '90s and throughout my life that no one's ever saw. It was on my camera. I got Kobe Bryant on some video. I got
Really, you got to
yeah,
get
I
that.
got
You got to get that out.
yeah, I know. And he was looking at me at Gold's Gym. I got a lot of actors and actresses and everything that was training in Gold's Venice. I got Jeep Swenson. He was pumping me up one time when I was doing a leg press and training with Robbie Robinson. Um, coming in from a, I came in from a nightclub one night and turned on the camera. I was just like, it was crazy. I did a lot of stuff, a lot of photo shoots. I got all that lot of stuff shot like that. A lot of stuff with Chris Lund, doing some heavy stuff in my photo shoots with real weight. Um, all this stuff I have on video and I have it ready to go. I'm gonna start introducing on my channel. So
That's
it's
cool,
gonna be
man. We've seen a
real,
lot on your IG as well.
yeah, the Rubiel Cormier is the YouTube channel. So go to YouTube, subscribe, and
Yeah.
you'll see the stuff coming in. I'm doing a lot of shorts and everything right now also.
I'll put the link in the description below, so everyone make sure you go follow the real deal Chris Cormier. And dude, I think it's a great thing that you're doing with YouTube as well. We've seen like there's almost a little bit of a hole in the market, obviously after we lost John Meadows as well, because he was doing a really good job of putting a lot of like training based type stuff up there and something where people could follow along and find out different ways to hit some exercises, where to put the tension and things like that. And you do, man, no one does it better than you from what I've seen, and you really are like a what do I say, like an artist with the sport, like you know how to do these little things with exercise just to maximize what you're getting out of the exercise, plus with the posing. Honestly, I think that's something that you don't see many guys putting out posing tip videos and stuff. And I've thought about doing it myself because you just don't really see it much. Like you see very little of that.
Do,
It's only
I
private.
see a couple. I see a couple guys, and they do a little something, and I just feel like they're just so into utilizing these big words, or internal rotate, or whatever they want to say. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
But I just noticed a couple. I noticed out of everybody, I noticed some things that they're not doing, and I noticed some things that they're not even paying attention to in most of these shots. And to me, it's like second nature because as working with Robbie Robinson as a young teenager bodybuilder, uh, he instilled in me so much uh, that I teach it to a lot of my guys, but it's like it takes time. It's like almost like having a white belt, bringing them up to a black belt. So a lot of people just want
yeah.
to go straight to black belt stuff, and it's like so much things you need to try to understand about posing before you go to these different links. And I think that's when you get the watered down information from a lot of these coaches. Is everyone's coaching and everyone's teaching and those people are teaching the coaching, those people are teaching the coaching. So it's going down
Mm.
the line and it's just getting washed out and washed up information.
Things are being lost, yeah, for sure. I've always considered myself to be a good poser compared to, especially when you compare myself to the average amateur, which there's a lot of amateurs out there that just can't pose. They're not like, and it drives me insane when you see someone do a rear lat spread and they've got this much left to go on each side. Like you're cutting off years of work off your lats and things like that. But so there's knowing the basics of how to do that stuff, but then there's little things that I actually learnt from I don't know if you know Amy Fox, who's a women's physique pro out here in Australia. She never actually did a pro show, but she did turn pro. And dude, she taught me certain things that I'm like about drawing the judge's attention and like just as you're about to hit, look out at the crowd or the
She's
judges, and then as you go into it, look forward, like just little things to draw attention to yourself without, obviously doing all the theatrics and going too far between the transitions. So it was very
I,
insightful to get that extra.
I consider her under my umbrella because I did a few sessions with her out in Perth when I was out
That's
there.
probably where it came from. These little things, because she had a few good little things. I'm like, man, that's I'm adding that to the repertoire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I know she did
Mm.
for a fact. Yeah, but I know Amy for a while, but I know she was trying to get into doing this. I think she was just starting I don't say little, but her company as far as them trying to teach people out there. But I knew that's what she was after. But I gave her some tips
Mm.
to do stuff, and but it's a lot of people like that. I taught Brianna a lot. I taught, but and it's still evolving. I'm still getting better. I'm still getting smarter at it, and that's what people got to do is stop thinking they know everything now. Just keep learning and keep learning, and then later on down the road, teach. But people want to learn something today, want to teach it tomorrow. Learn this
Yeah,
today,
yeah.
teach tomorrow. you know.
Mm. Yeah, yeah,
So
for sure. Absolutely.
yeah,
But Chris, I want to thank you so much for coming on here on Desktop Bodybuilding for a one-on-one, discussing obviously for about 3/4 of the interview Rubiel, but it's cool to hear a bit about you, man, and what you've
thank you.
got going on as well. well. Everything that you
Thanks for
do,
having
it's
me, man.
really cool. And dude, you're a world of knowledge, and I'll have you back sometime soon to jump in on a podcast and answer some listener
For sure.
questions and stuff too. That'd be fun.
For sure, brother. Anytime, man. Let me know.
So everyone out there, follow the real deal Cormier, Chris Cormier. The link to his YouTube and his Instagram are in the description below. So make sure you follow him and also like this video as well if you did enjoy this one-on-one with Chris, the real deal Cormier. So for myself, Xavier Wills, Chris Cormier, we are out. Thanks for watching this one-on-one interview. And if you did enjoy it, give the video a thumbs up, smash that like button, also subscribe and hit the notification bell button for more one-on-one interviews, contest coverage, bodybuilding news, plus much more. Anyway, guys, that's it for myself, Xavier Wills, here at Desktop Bodybuilding. I'm Xavier Wills, this is Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are out.